Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer. This is the first Monday of December. I'd like to welcome you all. Had a little bit of a difficulty there with that previous transmission, but we're back. PO Box 4121, Fullerton, California 92834. TheFullertonInformer.com and WiFiDangers.com on the web. JoeImbriano777 at gmail.com. Alright, folks, I want to get back into what I was trying to discuss here this morning. And that is, there are a lot of things happening, and a lot of things are converging, while at the same time, the diversions continue to really increase in frequency and scope. We've got another circus going in the White House with all your favorite players that are all over the media, and it's almost like, well, I guess it's almost like the sports phenomenon. Everybody knows the players on all these teams and all the stats on them. And then all of you know all the players in Trump's circus clown operation with the Democrats and the Republicans and this false dichotomy circus that they're running as a diversion. Meanwhile, the cryptocurrency Bitcoin has broken below its critical mass threshold of $6,000, and we're being told that this cryptocurrency is going to zero. Ladies and gentlemen, has there ever been any hope from breaking free from the satanic pedophile Illuminati stranglehold on our monetary system, ladies and gentlemen? Well, there is still hope, because as much as they try to prop these systems up and collapse them at will, and in the process create wars and famines and death and destruction, humanity continues to bounce back. And those responsible for the dastardly deeds of enslaving humanity are being more and more backed into the proverbial corner. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the days are few and numbered for those who seek to control humanity as the inventors of evil things pose as our saviors, ladies and gentlemen. I got a packet in the mail over the weekend, and it's a very interesting packet. And I love it when people send me things, because I love to read things. And once again, it's PO Box 4121, Fullerton, California 92834. There is a lot of information hidden in plain view in the movies and the music, and plans are laid decades in advance. And as these systems approach once again, I believe we are facing another crisis in this country, because the people that pulled off the last one are still on the loose, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I haven't figured out exactly where or what, but I have information that makes me very concerned that we may see another event in this country before the end of the year. And of course, it goes without saying what may take place overseas. The circus in the White House is a backdrop and a diversion for a much larger problem, and a war that I believe is imminent on several fronts. I believe we're going to be going into South America, possibly Venezuela, because as the systems approached that country several years back, as our foreign policy decisions and our State Department's direction and our economic engine directed the destruction of Venezuela's economy with the collapse of oil prices, And I believe Mr. Chavez was probably given a cancer virus and taken out. It's not hard to do. They've had that stuff since Lee Harvey Oswald was centrifuging SV40 virus tissues and flushing them down his toilet from his apartment back in the 60s, ladies and gentlemen. His attempt to break away from the petrodollar, that's right, the Federal Reserve note, and I'm going to be going into a complete expose of our currency here very shortly, not today, but his attempts to break away from the petrodollar, the world reserve currency status that we have enjoyed to the detriment of the rest of the world, because you can have the Federal Reserve print up on some really cheap, inexpensive paper that they can manufacture for 50 bucks a ton, and they can print up $1 billion worth of that 2,000 pounds of paper in terms of currency. And then for $5 on that currency, you can get a sack of beans from a third world country. But over there, if they want to get a sack of beans, they got to exchange it for a sack of rice. Well, look what they did to Venezuela's economy when they tried to break free. Look what's happening to Bitcoin. And look what's happening in Washington, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be prepared in the United States for what I believe is a looming event. I believe it's an inevitability, because 9/11, I believe, from all of the research I've done, is going to have a sequel, folks. And I don't make that statement lightly. And from all the predictive programming that I've studied, I believe it's coming, and it's coming soon. I have some information that I'll be sharing as soon as I delve into it a little bit more deeply and break it down a little more carefully. But the United States is in a lot of trouble, folks, because the man we have in the White House is not who you think he is. And what's going on Pennsylvania Avenues has been turned into a movie set. And the Supreme Court and all of the Justice Department and the FBI has been turned into a studio in Hollywood. And they've got this cast of characters rolling out every day, and you all know all their names, don't you? You've memorized them, right? Because you follow the soap opera. You know, it reminds me of when I was in high school, all the girls were just so caught up with General Hospital. And they knew all the twists and turns and the names and the places and the faces. And you know, the only thing I always wondered about from General Hospital back in the early 80s was, I wanted to know what Jesse's girl looked like, because Rick Springfield kept singing about how he wished he had Jesse's girl. And I heard it on the radio for years about how I wish that I had Jesse's girl, you know, and it's like, wow. People get caught up in such superfluous bullshit, don't they? Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the end of this year, I want to urge all of you to take stock in what is important to you, and that is your family, and those you love, and those who are near and dear to you, and most importantly, your Heavenly Father and His Son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, because we are in for something that I believe is going to rock the foundations of this nation. I believe it's coming. I haven't completely been convinced of where, but what I've seen and what I've studied. Now look, folks, I've gone into how Apple Computer Company has spent $500 million or maybe $5 billion, I don't know, some egregious amount of money on a corporate headquarters that's got a flat earth map in its model. It's unbelievable. It's a total flat earth map. Look up, go to WiFiDangers.com or the FullertonInformer.com and look up Apple 666, and you'll see the ring structure of this corporate headquarters, and it's a total flat Earth map. But at the center of the landscape architecture plans, they lay out their plan to sterilize people with the wireless. It's all laid out. You can see the subcellular component, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum that's missing from the cross-section of the human embryo. There's several different slides of cross-sections of the human embryo in their landscape architecture plans, and it just so happens that the microwave emissions at 2.4 gigahertz and the power levels emitted by the slot antenna coming out from the infertility pads create morphological changes in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And when you make morphological changes to subcellular components, you change their functions. Ladies and gentlemen, I go deep into the esoteric, the stuff that's hidden in plain view and the stuff that's not. And I will tell you that what is going on with Apple's corporate headquarters is no different than what is going on with the sleeve out of some of these record albums from the 1980s, the 1970s, where in the predictive programming they were actually talking about what is coming. And it's coming, folks. It's coming. And they've had things planned for decades. I mean, I remember when Thomas Dolby was singing about how she blinded me with science, and at the same time he had an album out called The Age of Wireless, and nobody even knew what wireless was. And this is back like, I don't know, 37 years ago, before wireless was even in the vernacular of even some high-level scientists. Okay? And we got the United Nations symbol as a flat Earth. We've got the United Nations flag as a flat Earth. We got Apple's corporate headquarters, you know, built like a flat Earth map. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they've got so much hidden in plain view. And what I do, you see, I research, folks, and I dig deep. And, you know, when I look at things, there's all these hidden esoteric and occultic and duplicitous meanings in music lyrics, in album art, LP sleeve art, everything. You see, when you serve the devil, you've got to put his stamp on your work. And that's why people like AC/DC, they actually had to put the horns in their head, you know? I mean, they actually had to go all the way. All right, folks, I just want you all to be on your toes, because in the days ahead, we need to be very careful about our comings and goings, and we need to have a very tight relationship with the Lord and his son Jesus Christ, because these are the days that will try men's souls, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we're about to approach 2001 all over again. I pray to God that nothing happens, but the problem is the people that pulled off 9/11 are still on the loose, folks. They're still at large. And if you think that the official story of 9/11 is anything but a bunch of lies, you need your head examined. And if you think the hijackers, supposed hijackers of these airlines, some were trained at the Pensacola Naval Air Station, they just so happened to find the paper passports in the rubble, but the buildings were vaporized, but the passport survived. I mean, are you kidding me? Come on. There is so much information out there. But see, that's the problem, is there's too much information, and it's too much for people to really digest. And so they overwhelm you with information, and they blind you with science, like Thomas Dolby would sing about. They blind you with science. That's right, because science is blinding, folks. It makes no sense. And so you don't think. And that's why we've got all these hocus pocus, alakazam scams, like, you know, Elon Musk's blow up doll floating around up in space. I mean, come on, give me a break. There's so much deception, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to enter into a very tumultuous period, and I need you to pray for my safety, my family's safety. And I need you to pray for your family, that they see the light before the darkness dawns, ladies and gentlemen, because we are running out of time. We are running out of time, and we're going to have to look into ways to expose those who are behind this before they have a chance to do it again. But before we do that, we have to figure out exactly who they are, and we have to let the world know that we're not going to let them do it again. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, folks, coming to you. And we ask that you would spread this message far and wide. Subscribe to the channel. Sub to my backup channel, WIKIJOE. I'm going to start uploading content there. And P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. And God bless all of you. Happy Monday.